And I was fishing one hole, and I was out there about this deep, and I felt something hit my boot, and I thought maybe it was a branch or something, and it hit it again. And I looked down, and here was a big tail about that wide. And I looked, and here was a sturgeon about 5 feet, and I didn't bother. It went upstream. And probably about 10 minutes later, I heard my brother-in-law hollering. I thought, he's got one on, and needs some help to land it. So I went up there, and he was standing on the bank. He says, "Look at that out there." And here was that sturgeon, and it was in shallow water, probably 2 feet of water. And I said, "Boy, that's a big one." He says, "It was bigger than what he was, because he was only 5 foot, and that sturgeon was about 5.5 feet." And he says, "Let's catch it." I said, "You're crazy." I said, he said, "No, I have an idea." He says, "Because I nudged it, tapped it, and just moved over a little bit." He says, "If we can get it up in the shallow water," he says, then you grab it by the gills, and I'll grab it by the tail." I said, "Okay." So he went down there, and he nudged that fish over until his back went out of the water about that. It was only about a foot water. And he says, "When I say 3, grab." And he said, 3, and I grabbed, and all I heard was the fish was gone. And I heard this big splash, and I looked, and here he was sitting in the middle of the stream, way up to here. That fish tail came around and just knocked him right.
Thrown out, and so he brought it home.
Yeah.
He's got some old line.
There's one over there.
These are retired brood stock. They were used for the hatchery egg takes.
What's that?
Ooh, what's that red one?
In 1999, like I told you, we got $12 million from the State Building Authority to cut down some trees, build these buildings, and provide the state with a brand new fish hatchery. We took this demonstration for a school group so that they can understand how we get the eggs and the milk out of the fish. So I need 3 volunteers. Calls, so we can see. I don't know. We'll drop some milk. We'll fertilize the whole bucket. Let's give them a round of applause. Yay! The 3-year-old trout produce about 3,000 eggs, or 5 or 6-year-old trout produce about 5 or 6,000 eggs, and then they seem to taper off. They did a hydrologic study, and they determined we have an enormous aquifer underneath us right now. It starts about 75 feet below the surface of the parking lot, and it extends down to 415 feet. And so what we did was we put 5 wells down into that aquifer. Each well can pull about 800 gallons of water per minute. Structure right here behind the gazebo. Those 5 degassing columns represent each one of the 5 wells. Water will travel up the light blue pipe first, and right before it cascades. 30,000 fish eggs can fit in a single tray. It takes 1 month for our temperatures for them to hide up, which means you can see the little eyes of the trout developing through the egg membrane. That takes 30 days at 46 degrees Fahrenheit. So everything in here, for the time being, they stay in these trays for 3 months, from egg to ironing up to yolk sac to the absorption of their sac fry. We never limit our 40 tanks here throughout 750,000 brown trout and 250,000 rainbow trout. So 1 million fish come out of this hatchery alone. Not too much. So the browns, with the water introduced in this area at about 15 gallons per minute, it makes its way from left right all the way down here. Brown trout will go to production and some will go to future food stock. So we fill up with water and salt, and then we pull alongside Raceway A, B, or C, depending on which one we're taking fish out of, and then we fill up with fish there. So we just keep the species separate. It makes our lives a little easier. The bigger fish you were looking at in the middle raceway are going to be stocked in April. So they're almost ready to go. And all 6 of our state hatcheries release their fish in April. So we've got 44 million fish between all the 6 hatcheries that are going to end up in our lakes and rivers and streams. We stock the fish and we pay for habitat restoration, and the public pays for that to get done.
This hatchery, when it had all open pits, you know, and I was just a teenager, about 12 or 13, we came up here. And the guy had an idea. He said, I know how to catch some fish. So we came up here and we had a line hooked on the inside, and we ran it down through our inside of our pant leg, bait on it, and we'd stand by the edge and drop that line down. Pull up, and then we walk down a little ways and take the fish off and go back.
You were the one. I think the pants were baggier back then. They made a